Good morning, guys. Welcome to Success Tree classes. This is a India Yearbook 2016 tutorial series. So this is second in its number. In the last previous lecture, we did first 4 chapters. And today we will do chapter 5 to 8. If you like the video, hit like, comment and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It is to notify you people that whenever we add any of new lecture, you can automatically get notification on it. So here we go. Here what do we have in culture and tourism chapter? I'll come to chapter number 5th. So on this page you find first one, Lalit Kala Academy. Just remember a few things only, that it propagates the understanding of Indian art both within and outside the country. So it sponsors exchange of artists with other countries as well under various cultural exchange programs. That's it. So that is Lalit Kala Academy that we have. Then Sangeet Natak Academy. So it promotes, so it's an academy of National Academy of Music, Dance and Drama. Can you switch off the fan? Now this Sangeet Natak Academy, that is National Academy of Music, Dance and Drama, it was first instituted by resolution of Ministry of Education, and at that time this Education Ministry was headed by whom? Just after independence, who was our first Education Minister? Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Okay. So the objective, or it works towards traditional modern forms, urban as well as rural environments. So encompassing the different practices of music, dance and drama related to traditional and modern forms as well as urban and rural. Come to next, performing arts. In performing arts you have music, dance, various performing arts, theatre. So in music you have Hindustani and Carnatic music. So that's still present now because of oral tradition passed from the teachers to the disciples, and we call it as the gharanas. Gharanas or sampradayas, again part of a core culture. Dance. Now, what do you remember in the dance segment? How many classical dance are there in India recognized? How many in total? In total there are 8 classical dance. What are those? You can find a few named here. How many dances are showcased here in the book? Okay. So what are those dances mentioned in India book? Sorry? Okay. Now 2 are not given. These 2 are Mohiniyattam and Satriya. Mohiniyattam and Satriya. Mohiniyattam from where? In Kerala. Satriya in Assam. So these are classical dance recognized by Sangeet Natak Academy. Bharatanatyam in Tamil Nadu. Kathak in North India. So Kathak and Kathakali. So Kathak in North India, Kathakali in Kerala. Kuchipudi Andhra, Manipuri Manipur, Mohiniyattam Kerala. So in Kerala you have 2. One is Mohiniyattam and another is Kathakali. Odissi in Odisha, Satriya in Assam. So these are 8 classical dance recognized by Sangeet Natak Academy. Okay, now there are certain information given here. Kathak classical dance and revitalized as a result of Mughal influence on Indian culture. On the same page you find in the dance, on the same paragraph. Right, Odissi from Odisha, once practiced as a temple dance by Devdasi. The Academy also gives financial assistance to cultural institutions and award fellowships to certain scholars, performers, etc. Right, so that's all from the dances. You just need to see in your culture part in detail what all are the classical dances, what various mudras and all, how they are performed. Then come to Sahitya Academy. See, Sahitya, literature. So it's Indian National Academy of Letters. So to promote Indian literature through publication, seminar, workshop, exchange programs, literary meets and all. It was registered as a society under the Registration Act 1860. That's all now come forward. Now you see there are certain fellowships by Sahitya Academy. Sahitya Academy Honorary Fellowship, Anand Fellowship, Premchand Fellowship. Now we just focus over Premchand Fellowship. A Premchand Fellowship for scholars, you see there, in Sahitya Academy. First come to Sahitya Academy. Yeah, next paragraph, 3 fellowships. Then just after it, Premchand Fellowship for scholars doing research on Indian literature or to creative writers from countries of SAARC region other than India. So this is Premchand Fellowship. The National School of Drama, very eminent school of drama in India that we have, and it was set up by Sangeet Natak Academy. Then later it became an autonomous institution under Department of Culture, financed by Department of Culture. Come to CCRT, just read various, now in CCRT you can find certain notes as well related to culture. Those are also important. So it organizes the education tours, it revive and increase the art and craft from rural India. So various things that CCRT does. Come to tangible cultural heritage. So there are certain intangible, there are certain tangible. Which are the intangible cultural heritage? Intangible arts or what?
Intangible would be singing, dancing.
Yes, correct. That cannot be touched. That cannot be felt by touching, right? Singing, dancing, these all. So tangible, which are, let's say, for monuments, any historical monuments, any paintings, any of these things. So these are, so Archaeological Survey of India we have for this, established in 1861 during the Britishers' time, and it is an attached office of Department of Culture. So Archaeological Survey of India comes under which department? Department of Culture. Now come, are you there with me on this? Right? Now, a few paragraphs after this, 3 sites. 3 sites, namely Champaner Pavagad Archaeological Park in Gujarat, Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, formerly it was known as Victoria Terminus Station in Mumbai, and Brihdeshwar Temple Complex, Gangaikonda Cholapuram, there is, and Ari Vatsvara Temple Complex, Darasuram, as an extension to the Brihdeshwar Temple Complex, Thanjavur. So now this temple, Brihdeshwar Temple, Thanjavur, now it is commonly known as what? Great Living Chola Temples. So this is one of them. So these have been inscribed as World Heritage in the World Heritage list of UNESCO. Do you find these names? So just go through the names again. Champaner Pavagad Archaeological Park in Gujarat, Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus in Mumbai, and Brihdeshwar Temple Complex. So there in the Brihdeshwar Temple Complex you find Gangaikonda Cholapuram and Ari Vatsvara Temple Complex, Darasuram, as an extension of Brihdeshwar Temple as well. So these are there in UNESCO World Heritage list. Now for the nomination, we are not supposed to go so much for these. Even Majuli Island in Brahmaputra River in Assam, that has also been nominated. In nomination from our side to the World Heritage list of UNESCO, we have given it. come to tourism. So tourism, how importance of tourism, even if you see 2 years ago in the mains an essay was there on tourism. So even at that time the tourism appeared in economic survey, there it was. It is in India book as well, it is mentioned. It has come as a topic in Yojana also. So at the different platforms you can find the material related to tourism. Right. So tourism, the question can come up in essay as well as in GS mains paper, specifically in paper 3. How it can come, you can see importance of tourism. The importance is for the local people, the local community, as a meaningful employment to them. Moreover, we also find that tourism needs to be sustainable as well. Right? Tourism provides the information regarding the various flora and fauna to the people, to the community. So it is something that promotes, we can say, sustainable awareness regarding the various biodiversity of our country to the people. More awareness, more sensitization, right? And once tourism develops, many regions, even you find certain countries like Thailand, it is basically its economy depends on tourism. So even certain places, there are huge diversity in India you can find. Okay. Now this diversity should attract more and more tourism, more and more tourists. Right. So it means that our economy can gain a lot of boost from the tourism sector if we have a focused approach for this segment. So for economic growth, first of all, economic growth of the whole country, boosting, flourishing the economic activities within the local community region, employment to the people, promotes awareness, sensitization to the biodiversity and the environment, flora and fauna to the people, more awareness, more sensitization, more, right. It also promotes the sustainable development. If we have in this meaning that our tourism should be sustainable, that we need to ensure. It should not encroach on the things or should not pollute the places. So specifically certain regulation guidance need to be there regarding if you promote tourism, it should be sustainable. Now there are different, it promotes the infrastructure development in the region, roads, railways also goes, because ultimately for tourism you need the connectivity. Suppose you want to go to certain places like for Northeast. Why Northeast tourism is not so developed? One of the reason is marketing and all, that is definitely one part, but we don't have the sufficient connectivity with the Northeast. Right, so it is one of the reason. So once you promote any destination as a tourist destination, it also promotes the connectivity. More connectivity, more business activities, more spread of culture, more awareness of the indigenous culture in those regions. So all these are various benefits as well as how we should move ahead. So we should move towards a sustainable tourism, keeping in concern of the environment as well and the needs of the local people, community. So that's all you can find in the tourism. So you can use the information given here in the various portions of your answer writing. So basically important for mains. So you also keep on classifying which portion is important for mains, which one for prelims. Visa on arrival, it is basically electronic visa. Now with so many countries we are giving this electronic visa. Niche tourism products. Now what do you mean by this niche tourism products? You may have heard about niche. Niche means what? Any organism, any animal or that has certain functional relationship with the functional kind of thing with the existing environment. Means certain specialization comes with respect to a particular environment. Niche it creates. In the same way, for example, in India we can have the niche tourism for what? For spiritualism. Yoga tourism can be one of the niche tourism product, right? Same way, medical tourism, cruise tourism, these are given here. Film tourism, sustainable tourism, ecotourism, polo, golf. So these all are the various niche tourism products. So basically, our focus should be over to make India as a destination that should attract tourism all across the 12 months. We find certain seasonality in the tourism in India, so that should go. And how it can happen once we promote the various products, niche tourist products that are available throughout year. Another bed and breakfast homestay scheme. It is another important plan or way how to involve the local community and to make the tourist sensitized and aware and to experience the first-hand experience of that local community, how it is living. For example, anybody coming from the city, so for that person going into a mall or shopping complex may not be a different thing or a spot of attraction. But when the same person who had not gone to certain villages goes to villages like Haryana, Punjab and see the local culture, so that thing can attract. Then what can happen? Then certain homestay schemes, homestay tourism could be promoted. For example, any certain people on the say highways or roadways, right, along with the dhabas, they have certain homestay along in the farms. So those people, they can go in the village, can stay there with good amenities and all whatever, but basically rural amenities definitely, and gain the first-hand experience of that rural local culture. So that would attract more, and it is a way of making them understand the culture of the local community. It will also help the local people living in those communities economically. So are you getting the understanding of this? So this is another way how you can promote tourism. Medical tourism, definitely India provides quality healthcare facilities, healthcare services, and even in very affordable prices. So very huge amount of foreign currency comes to India as well as a main of medical tourism. So this medical tourism, it comes under which head? Under balance of payment or under fiscal deficit, or where do you find it in economy? Say anybody comes from outside, right? Say any foreigner, for example, any person from Myanmar or certain African countries. Because for them going to US or certain European countries, the expenses are very huge, but India can provide still the relatively good quality medical health care, but at very cheap rate. So once they come to India, and any currency coming to India by way of this comes under which head? Correct, good, excellent. So under balance of payment, you have two parts, current account and capital account. Under current account, you have again two parts. Which one? Yeah, one is the goods, that is merchandise, right? And another is services, or the invisibles, basically we just call it. So it includes services and other invisibles. For example, medical tourism is one, education one, remittance another, correct? So even when you are reading these things, keep on relating these with respect to your economy portion, so that if the question comes, you have the basic understanding. Definitely you are reading something, you are linking to the certain portion within economy or polity. Keep on having this approach. So understand the medical tourism, importance of this. One thing is, it will help in reducing the current account deficit, definitely. Secondly, it will also generate more employment within our country, right? Moreover, more currency, more employment, more development in research. It will also flourish research and development, as it promotes the various institutions, basically the private one, and they get encouraged with more and more revenue, and they further spend more in the research and development. Now that's all from this culture and tourism chapter. Now come to next chapter, basic economic data. Economy, I will still recommend you to go through economic survey, because there is no replacement of economic survey, there is no substitute for that. Will help you in prelims and help you tremendously in mains. There you're gonna rock it if you cover economic survey comprehensively. Still, certain things that I find important and that needs the consideration of the discussion, I have brought under this chapter. The economic data. So we have one of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Okay, this ministry has two wings. One is statistics wings and another is related to program implementation. Now statistics wing, it has the offices, that is NSO, National Statistics Office, Central Statistic Office and National Sample Survey Office. Whereas program implementation wing, it has three divisions: 20-point program, infrastructure and project monitoring, and third one is members of parliament local area development scheme, MP-led scheme. Now this point is important, MP-led scheme. If the question can come, the member of parliament local area development scheme, MP-led scheme comes under which ministry? And one of the option can be Ministry of Rural Development. So it may appear to you that rural development is more, say, synonymous or and linked to MP-led, but that will be the incorrect. So it comes under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So remember this thing, it can come directly in the exam. Now beside of these wings, there are certain other institutions, like one of the autonomous institute, Indian Statistical Institute, and it is an institute of national importance by an act of parliament. Very prominent institute it is, if you have seen this ISI, yes. Now come to Central Statistics Office, CSO. Now CSO is an attached office of the ministry. What it does, what kind of the data it brings? So compilation of national accounts. So national accounts is compiled by CSO. Then second one, IIP, important, Index of Industrial Production, Consumer Price Index for urban local combined. So CPI, Consumer Price Index. So CPI is brought by or brought by which ministry or which organization? CSO, Central Statistics Office, and this office comes under what? Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Then Human Development Statistics, including gender statistics in the states and union territories, and disseminates energy statistics, social and environment statistics, and prepares the National Industrial Classification. So important things under this are national accounts, IIP and CPI. So these are brought by CSO. Remember these three. Okay, because they may ask, IIP, Index of Industrial Production, is published by or brought by which of the department, which of the offices? CSO can be one, DIIP can be one. So then there you can get confused. Department of Industrial, right? So there DIPP if it comes, promotion production if it comes, then there you can get confused. So it's better you remember it directly. CSO publish it. Definitely DIPP helps it in bringing the data and all. That is one part. It gets the data from there, but ultimately it is compiled by CSO and then brought forward by CS only. Then come to price statistics. So CPI, you are having the base 2010. We are calculating from this base. Inflation, headline inflation, measured still in terms of WPI. CPI, come to the heading, consumer price inflation. So consumer price index for industrial workers, agricultural laborers and rural laborers. So inflation in terms of other CPIs. Do you find this? Consumer price inflation is the topic, the last few lines. So inflation in terms of other CPIs, for example, consumer price index for industrial workers, agricultural laborers, rural laborers. They are moderated in 14-15 they were. So the question was asked last year, which office, which department actually bring this CPI for industrial workers, agricultural laborers, rural laborers. Okay. Now the difference between CPI and WPI we have done in economic survey. already, right? So the question from the mains, from the PD point of view, you should remember. Tell me the points if you remember a few.
So CPI was mainly focused on food items,
Correct.
and WPI was included the oil and petroleum prices.
Definitely. Excellent. So more weightage in WPI is given to the in the crude oil, in the petroleum products. So more weightage is for the petroleum products, refinery products in the WPI. That's why you see when the international oil prices they fell down, then WPI even went to the negative territory. So fall in WPI was more than CPI. This was one of the major reasons. Whereas in case of CPI, there is more weightage given to the food items. In WPI, less weightage to food items. Here, CPI, less weightage to the crude oil or the petroleum products. Measures to contain inflation. It is an overall topic of mains. You can. There are so many measures. So these are not comprehensive. These are not exhaustive list given there in this topic. Still, what the government does to contain inflation: impose stock limits, right? It also advise, if you remember last year, when generally whenever the inflation issue comes, so about 2 years ago there was very huge inflation, and at that time central government issued advisory to the states to exempt the perishable food items from the APMC Act, because the perishable food items like the vegetables, fruits, they get perished early, and if they have to come across all the middlemen as come under APMC, they will lose their values in this huge chain. So these are certain things that the government does in a certain period of time. Also releasing from the central pool stock certain time when you find the inflation, so even that could be released from the buffers from the stock godowns of FCI. Now also you have one of the fund, price stabilization fund, if you remember, right? For yeah, correct. Wheat, rice as well as now for pulses as well. The government issued last time. So price stabilization fund is another way that is not mentioned here, but you should remember it. That price stabilization fund is also one way. Basically, what other measures can be done to contain inflation? These are a few that are given in this India book. I have discussed a few. Apart from these, you tell your suggestion. What could be done to contain inflation?
The cost of production is too much. You can maybe see for importing and
That can be one of the point. Okay, say removing or relaxing the restrictions on the imports. It could be one of the point. Okay. But more importantly, it is this now inflation we are getting despite the bumper production. Why? Because huge amount of our food commodities get wasted. We don't have the state of the art, or we don't have the sufficient cold storage. And even what are the cold storage we have, that is not up to the mark, not of the high quality. So we need to improve our cold storage infrastructure and need to improve it extensively. So mega food parks is one of the way how the government is pursuing this task. So mega food parks should be promoted extensively, right? So one of the thing is this one. Then bringing certain, or you can say strict norms on the hoardings and all. Also certain commodities can be brought under Essential Commodities Act. So these are certain fiscal measures by the government side. Then if they don't specifically say what the government can do, it can be broad-based question, then the involvement of RBI also comes in being. RBI can increase because it has the power, it has authority for the monetary policy framework. So it can increase the repo, reverse repo. It will give another dimension to your answer, how to contain inflation. Importing is one of the points that you can also put in. relaxing the import norms. Okay, that's all. Come to next topic, 8 core infrastructure supportive industries. Come quickly to this topic. There are core industries. The question has been asked earlier. What all are the core industries? बताइए. Core industries.
In total there are 8.
Okay. The points. Which all are those?
Weightage wise there is
Tell first list all 8.
power industry,
Are you sure?
electricity,
Yeah. If it is electricity. Don't say power. Okay.
electricity, then crude oil,
Okay.
petroleum products, then coal, natural gas, and we have steel.
Okay.
Iron,
Steel you have. Okay.
coal, basic coal,
You can see these: coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizer, steel, cement, and electricity.
right?
I told you come to 8 core industry, core infrastructure topic. So do you find these? Coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizer, steel, cement, and electricity. Okay, so these are 8 core industries. You should remember all these 8. Question has come up many times. Last year also the question came. A few years ago the question had come up. You see the total weightage is how much? So of all these core industries, total weightage in the IIP is 37.90%. So you can remember round of around 38% is the total weightage of these core industries in IIP, Index of Industrial Production. Okay, so will you remember these? Right? Now come further. Index of Industrial Production, IIP. Okay, this IIP is released by which office, which organization? We just did it. IIP, Index of Industrial Production. It is an index. This index is released by which office or which organization? CSO, correct. Now come to the next topic. Quickly come to the next topic. Do you find this? Index of Industrial Production, right? What is written there? Base year is what? Still 2004-5. Okay. The next line is important. That released by CSO, Central Statistics Office of Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Now IIP is compiled using data received from 16 source agencies, including DIPP. So DIPP will be an option if it comes. So it means DIPP provides data, and it is only one of the agency, one of the source which provides data to CSO. So it means DIPP helps in DIPP data is used by CSO while bringing this IIP. But ultimately this IIP is brought by CSO. Or if CSO is not there, then the name of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So will you remember this thing? It is important for prelims. Come to next, National Sample Survey Office, NSSO. So it conducts large scale sample surveys in diverse fields on all India basis. Just remember this thing only, that in diverse fields it conducts the various sample surveys. That's it. And there are so many diverse fields. No need to remember all these. Keep on just swiping the pages. Come to 20-point program. So 20-point program, initially it was initiated in 1975, and the objective is to eradicate poverty and improve quality of life of poor and the disadvantaged section of society of our country. So the program covers various socio-economic aspects like employment, education, poverty, housing, drinking water, afforestation, environment protection, energy, rural areas. So means you see so many diverse segments or areas come under this 20-point program. See, 20 points, so means definitely it will encompass so many different things. So see, including poverty, employment as well as environment. So still in 75, we had certain program schemes which were somehow having the sustainability as one of the criteria. So 20-point program, now it was amended later on, it was changed, now we have 20-point program 2006. So it is being monitored individually by the central nodal ministries concerned. Now it is also given that the monitoring mechanism of 20-point program, it has been widened by including block level monitoring in addition to the existing central, state and district level monitoring. Do you find it in the next paragraph only it is given, right? So it means we also have block level monitoring. Now the Sampoorn Gramin Rozgar Yojana, one of the item in this 20-point program, it was subsumed under NREG and further renamed as MGNREG. So MGNREG, or it finds its basis in the Sampoorn Gramin Rozgar Yojana. Now come to next topic. Keep on swiping on pages. Keep on flipping pages. Now come to MP-led. Keep on flipping pages, so many pages you have to just turn over. Members of Parliament, Local Area Development Scheme, important topic it is. So see, in this India book, it is completely transformed one from the previous versions. Why? Because so many new schemes have been included. So once I say it is new scheme or say important one, if I say new scheme, definitely it becomes important, even if I say it doesn't say it is important. Though I will also cover up certain old schemes as well, but their importance will be less than the new schemes. MP-led, it is important. How it is important, how the question can be asked. See, first I discuss the points here, then I ask you what kind of question can be asked from this topic. Even once you complete the whole India book, I will give you around 15-20 questions based over India book. And so once you attempt those questions, revise once those all the topics of India books, and so those questions will check your knowledge, how efficiently or effectively in fact you have gone through this book. Okay, now let's see this one, MP-led. So means what MP-led scheme does. So members of Parliament, they can work in certain villages in their communities where they had to work. We'll see this, but once they work in those areas for the development of the local development of those areas, right? So it appears maybe the scheme is implemented by Ministry of Rural Development, but no dear, it is by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Okay, so question will come and it will be very easy question if you know it, otherwise very confusing one. See the salient features of MP-led scheme. It's fully funded by Government of India. How the funds are coming? As grants in aid, as special central assistance to states, right? So it is not a central sponsored scheme. The funds are coming by way of grants in aid. Then how much the funds are available under MP-led? Now it is 5 crore per constituency. So in their constituency, the MPs, they can contribute in the development of certain areas. Okay. Then how they are released? So under 2 installments, this 5 crore shall be released. So 2.5 crore each by the Government of India directly to the district authorities for execution of eligible works recommended by MPs by following the established procedures of the concerned state departments, state government. So see, the implementation will be done by the district authority. So DM, district magistrate, shall be the in charge of the implementation. What MPs can do, MPs can recommend that in these projects, in these areas, we want to contribute by our MP-led funds. Though MPs, they can also oversee they can also come in the monitoring purpose. They can help in the monitoring mechanism. But in implementation, MPs won't come directly, because implementation shall be done by the district authorities, headed by whom? DM. So here also the funds shall be released to the district authorities from the central government directly. Now see, they are not coming through the state government, center to state, then to district, center to district authorities directly. Now what the state's role have? It says certain procedures are established by the concerned state government, those procedures to be followed only, that's it. So is it clear to you? Another important point, non-lapsable funds these are. Non-lapsable means they won't lapse after completion or on the completion of financial year. Means the MPs, they won't have to just, means if the funds are unspent, they will carry forward to the next financial year as well. So means they won't diminish, they won't be reduced, or they won't be reduced to null and void on the completion of financial year. They will continue as it is. So they will they will get transferred to the next financial year if any unspent funds remain. Okay?
What if the
No, then another MP will come. Okay. What are the funds are there? They are in the MP led. If any MP, say the Lok Sabha get dissolved, because the fund doesn't get dissolved with the Lok Sabha. The funds are there. The person can change. The MP can change. Another point, examining the eligibility, that which project shall be eligible, sanctioning, funding, selection of implementing agencies, prioritization means which project to be prioritized, how to prioritize the various things, and overall execution and monitoring of scheme at the ground level has been done by the district authorities. Right? Now, another important point, that the Lok Sabha members, they shall recommend works in their respective constituencies. It means from the constituencies they have been elected, in those constituencies only they can recommend the works. Whereas the elected members of Rajya Sabha, they can recommend works anywhere in the state from where they are elected. Why? Because Rajya Sabha members, they don't have the constituency, right? Because from how the members of Rajya Sabha are elected? From the members of Vidhan Sabha, they elect the members of Rajya Sabha. So from every state, certain members of Rajya Sabha comes. So they are not coming from a particular constituency, right? They are coming from a state. So in the whole state, they can recommend implementation of MP-led funds in any of the work within the whole state. Okay? And what about the nominated members? And nominated members, they don't have the, say, linkage to any state as well, so the whole India. So in our whole country, the nominated members, they can recommend the works under MP-led scheme. So these points are important. Correct? So how the funds are coming? As grants in aid, fully funded by Government of India. 5 crore rupees is the fund. 2.5 crore in each installment to the district authorities they are given. So district authorities, they actually implement, and the funds are coming from the central government directly to those. Right? So MPs, they can recommend certain works under MP-led in the district authorities, but how the program will be implemented, the execution, monitoring, all these things are done by the district authorities. MPs, they can contribute in the monitoring mechanism, that is to that extent only their involvement is, and where the fund shall be utilized. On those regards only, MPs, they have their jurisdiction here. Then the where in what areas they can recommend the works. Lok Sabha MPs in their constituencies, Rajya Sabha MPs in their states, but these are elected only, nominated anywhere in India, right? Under which ministry MP-led scheme comes? Correct, excellent. Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So that's all from this chapter number 6.
Which one this is MP-led scheme similar one?
Yes, yes. बताइए. आदर्श ग्राम योजना.
That will be implemented for the MPs.
No, listen here. The discussion was that Adarsh Gram Yojana, it gets fund from where? And the statement was, I think, Adarsh Gram Yojana is funded by MP-leds only. Right?
Adarsh Gram is a part of MP-led.
Sorry?
Is it a part of MP-led?
No, it was a statement, but this is the incorrect statement. Because fund to Adarsh Gram Yojana, mainly it comes from MP-led, but there was the term only. Because the funds to Adarsh Gram Yojana, because every MP they have to adopt a village. If you have seen, it was a slogan given by our Prime Minister to encourage the MPs to adopt a village and work for that, to make the village as a model kind of village, so that others can emulate. Okay. So the funds are coming mainly from MP-led, this is correct, but funds are coming from other funds as well, other sources as well. For example, Backward Region Grant Fund. So the only term that made this statement incorrect. If the statement had been Adarsh Gram Yojana gets fund mainly from MP-leds, then it would have been correct statement. Okay. So what all we studied in this 6th chapter? Try to recall, see the topics, name of topics, and recall the points. We just quickly revise these.
Yes, we saw that under the Ministry of
2 wings, statistics, program implementation, statistics, CSO, NSSO like these. Implementation mainly we have MP-led, just remember this. This is important for exam. CSO, National Accounts, IIP, CPI. It does, okay. IIP is important work, the index that is given by CSO. CPI, base year 2010. Inflation. So even CPI, IW, agriculture laborers, rural laborers are also brought by this. Yes, it's given there. Measures to contain inflation we discussed. Then we discussed 8 core industries. Their total weightage to IIP is 38% around. Then we discussed IIP. So base year 2004-5 brought by CSO. So is under which ministry? Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. It received data from DIPP as well. That is only one. That is the role played by DIPP only here. Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, the department that gives certain data to CSO. NSSO, that's all, and then we come to 20-point program. Right? So many diverse entities were there in 20-point program. Then we came across MP-led, and we have recently done this MP-led. So I believe you remember all the points related to MP-led scheme. Okay. Now come to next chapter, commerce. So trade and commerce, many times you hear, right? So commerce, so one of the policy we have, foreign trade policy 2015-20, that has been recently, last year it was released, it was launched. Basic purpose of foreign trade policy to increase India's export in the world export share, and where India is to focus over the areas which can provide raw materials or market to India's exports. It means to make India's exports more competitive is one of the basic objective of foreign trade policy, and to make the various compliance mechanism more simplified by various online applications, self certification. So because you see, basically this red tapeism and bureaucratic juggernaut, right? So it has been impeding so many things, even our growth here within the production, in our trade, commerce as well with other countries. So making the thing simplified is a major thing that can help improving the ease of doing business. Now see how what this department does, Department of Commerce. So department formulates and implements and monitors the foreign trade policy. So if the question can come, foreign trade policy is formulated by which department? So it's Department of Commerce. Then this department is given the responsibility related to multilateral and bilateral commercial relations, special economic zones, state trading, export promotion, trade facilitation, development, regulation certain export-oriented industries and commodities. So means wherever you find link to the trade and commerce, that will be done by Department of Commerce. One of the objective is to promote and diversify exports, because we need to promote our exports, but how we can do so? We need to make our products, make our goods and products more competitive and diversify in the various areas. Now come to foreign trade policy 2015-20. So this it's only the paragraph you find. Initial pages only it is given. It is one of the paragraph that starts with foreign trade policy 2015-20. So in initial, okay, here you find only the brief discussion, then you come across in detail. So basically to improve our trade and commerce with other countries, and most importantly focus over our trade in merchandise and services, basically to improve our exports in those commodities, in those areas, and to link it with other initiatives like Make in India, Digital India, Skill India, and to create an export promotion mission. Because see, Make in India, if we make in India a success, it is going to help in making our foreign trade policy also a success. How? Make in India, if we make in India success, means we will be able to bring the manufactured goods at very low price of high quality. So our export or our export competitiveness will increase, and we will be able to improve our exports. Same way, Skill India. Now see, Skill India directly linked to the Make in India. Digital India, how it can help? One thing is helping in Make in India. Secondly, with Digital India, we will bring more and more digital tools, more and more use of ICT technology in smoothening or simplification of our procedures. So there are so many complex system or compliance mechanism is for the people who do the trade. So for those people, if the rules are made simplified, if the compliance is made online, so it will help in reducing their cost of doing business, and that will promote the exports and promote or help in pursuing the goals under foreign trade policy. Now next paragraph, top 5 commodities of exports. Which are those? Are you able to see these? Now these are given in these are given in economic survey. So basically for economic Reddit chapters, economic survey is more important because India book contains or focus on only certain few areas, right? So see, 5 commodities of export, top 5: petroleum and crude products, secondly gems and jewelry, textiles and allied products, chemical related products, and agri and allied products. So 5 these are: petroleum, gems and jewelry, textiles, chemicals, and agriculture. Right? Top 5 imports: petroleum, gems and jewelry, chemicals, then electronics items and machinery. So see, top 2 are same: petroleum and then gems and jewelry in both imports as well as exports. Right? Now in exports, at third it was chemicals, but at third it was textiles, and fourth was chemicals, whereas in imports at third it comes chemicals. So just remember the top 5: exports as well as imports. How it can help in prelims? It can help in mains. It can help you to analyze certain questions. For example, there can be a question that, because in the last 1 year or last around more than 1 year, we have seen that our exports have been falling, right? And they are falling very drastically. They have fallen very drastically in the meantime, in the period. The question can be on analyzing those reasons of falling of our exports. Then you analyze, okay, then you come across okay, what are our top export products. Then only you can have a scientific or logical analysis. So you see the top 2: petroleum, secondly gems and jewelry. Then textile, chemical, agriculture are another. Right? So here we have found the fall in the petroleum products, export of petroleum products, not in terms of quantity but in terms of the value. In quantity also you can say reasons: the whole world is slowing down, global slowdown, resulting into slowing of the demand. So demand has come down because of global slowdown. One reason. So this demand, if the demand has come down, it has reduced the exports in so many different fronts. But as our highest exporting product is petroleum. Now as the crude oil prices that have fallen hugely drastically from say $110 a barrel, they had even come to around $30 a barrel. When the import have come down, when the prices have come down, so definitely the prices of those finished products, say refined products, they will also come down. So they had also come down in terms of their value. So our exports in terms of value of those petroleum products has also decreased drastically. So I'm just trying to make you understand where you can use this kind of information. Okay. So regarding trade, it says what contributes, basically the global economic outlook that helps you understand what kind of demand there is in the various countries. Now come to global growth outlook. So here it is given IMF's World Economic Outlook. So World Economic Outlook, it is brought by which institution? IMF. It has been asked in 2014 prelims exam. And the very next year what they asked? Means in the 15 prelims. Global Economic Prospects. World Bank. So it is given in economic survey. So now they are asking which report is brought by which institution? World Economic Outlook, IMF, Global Economic Prospects by World Bank.
These two have already done.
Yeah, they have been asked in the last 2 years. We come to next trade scenario. Now, which are important countries in terms of exports? The important countries. The last few lines you see just above table. US has been the most important country of export destination, followed by UAE, Hong Kong, China, Saudi Arabia. So remember these top 5. At least you remember top 3. US, then UAE, then Hong Kong, then China and Saudi Arabia. So what we are exporting to UAE and Saudi Arabia? Definitely. So we import crude oil from these countries, we refine those products and then sell them back. Now come to the imports, next paragraph, just after table, a few lines. So max imports are coming from China, then Saudi Arabia, UAE, Switzerland and then USA. So you find the common countries both in the imports as well as exports. So in exports, the maximum export was going to US, then UAE, then Hong Kong, then China and then Saudi Arabia, right? Yes, it is. And imports coming from China, definitely very cheap imports that is flooding into Indian markets. Then Saudi Arabia because oil, UAE again oil, Switzerland and then USA. So remember these countries as per their numberings. We already discussed which imports by principal commodities. Now they are discussed here again. Exports by principal commodities, which are our top export commodities: petroleum, gems and jewelry, textile, chemicals, then agriculture. Whereas in imports, petroleum, gems and jewelry, chemicals, electronics and machinery. Come to foreign trade policy. So foreign trade policy 2015 to 20. It is important. So it has been asked, it can be asked even foreign trade policy in mains as well as in prelims. So foreign trade policy 2015-20, what do you mean, what do you understand by this? Means we came out with a new policy. Main focus is to improve our share in world export. And how to do that? Now you can read this foreign trade policy, certain targets in economic survey, specifically given their foreign trade policy. Now how to do that, how to improve our exports and our trade relations with other countries. Means one thing is improving our export competitiveness, means producing the products at quality products at lower prices, which are price competitive. Secondly, making the business more easy, making the trade more easy. How to do, so these two parts can be catered by the different ways. How to satisfy our first part, that is making the products, quality products at lower prices, by making India a success, right? Secondly, how we can improve ease of doing business or in terms of trade, by making the process more simplified, right? So bringing digital India there, means using the ICT tools, using technology, making the compliance mechanism online, self-certification, self-assessment. So if all these things are done, it will reduce the cost of doing business and improve ease of doing business. Now these things are given there, so just to make you understand, I discuss these. that to provide a stable and sustainable policy environment for foreign trade in merchandise and services. Further, procedures and incentives for export and import with other initiatives such as Make in India, Digital India, Skill India and Ease of Doing Business to promote the diversification of India's export basket by helping various sectors of Indian economy to gain global competitiveness. So this is also important point to diversify India's export basket. We just need not to limit ourselves to a particular category of exports only. Then there are certain schemes that were announced within this foreign trade policy. One is MEIS, another is SEIS. MEIS, Merchandise Export of India scheme. SEIS, Service Exports from India scheme. So these two schemes are there, MEIS and SEIS. So basically earlier there are various plethora of schemes, different rules and regulations. It makes the system more complex. You have the schemes more simplified. You can have schemes few, but make them more simplified, and those can be comprehensive. So various schemes, they are submerged. They are merged into two schemes only. So all the existing schemes, they are merged into two. One is MEIS, another SEIS. Now let's go through them. Merchandise export from India scheme. So foreign trade policy 1520 important for both prelims as well as mains. At certain targets, you can go through economic survey, the targets for foreign trade policy. Now what is MEIS? MEIS, it actually a product market specific incentive scheme, and the incentives, they are granted freely transferable duty credit scrips. What do you mean by this? Because once you do the exports, because government want to promote exports. If any industry, organization that is promoting, that is doing more and more exports, government gives incentive to that. Right. Now that incentive is in terms of freely transferable duty credit scrips. What do you mean by this? Transferable credit scripts. Means these scripts means in terms of the incentive, the value they're transferred. So they can be used in paying, say, certain excise duty, any customs duty, whatever. That incentive. Getting this thing means the incentive that are coming by exporting certain products. Those incentive can be used in paying certain duties. So they are transferable duty credit scripts. Clear? Next, SEIS. Again, these are transferable duty credit scripts. You do the export of services, get certain incentive that could be used in paying certain duties. Now here SEIS provides for rewards to all service providers of notified services for providing services from India, regardless of the constitutional profile of service provider. Means anybody. Right? It doesn't mean who is providing this service, whether Indian entity or foreign entity. It's just how it categorized only on the services which are notified under the scheme. If any organization, industry is providing those services, that will receive the incentive or the benefit under SEIS scheme. Clear? Come next, ease of doing business and e-government initiatives. So see, the point is what? Reduction in number of documents. So I just told you how you can improve. Do you see this topic? Ease of doing business and e-governance initiative. First point is reduction in number of documents. So how you can improve export? One thing is making your products more competitive in terms of quality and the price. Secondly, you make the process more simplified. So you reduce the documents that are to be complied to or to be brought in. Sorry? Yeah, correct. Ayat Nirat form that was there, and Niryat Bandhu scheme is one, and making the various compliance mechanism online. So first of all, reduce the documents, even and moreover making all the available Documents that are to be applied, also making them online. Right? So see there, saving in terms of cost and time associated with dispensed documents would improve ease of doing business with India. Moreover, online filing of documents, applicants, applications, and paperless trade in 24/7 environment. So these are things only just to make you understand, have a broad idea, broad view, what basically is the objective, then you can explain by yourself. Clear? So documents are reduced, even compliance mechanism is more favorable, online, paperless trade in 24/7. So these are various ease of doing business initiatives in trade. Come to next. Mobile application as well. See, social media, mobile application. Now DGFT, it has developed one of the mobile application named as DGFT. Do you see that? Social media. So under this application, the exporters, importers, the various trade houses, they can access foreign trade policy and other related documents because they need the information. So it can be one-stop solution for them. They open the application, get all the available documents and all. For example, if UPSC bring an application, they say that all the material available, every genuine information you'll get in my application. So that will be more genuine. You won't have to search through the various sources. And as provided by UPSC, that will be more authentic. The same with DGFT, it has brought all the available information at its application. And the applications are more user friendly as well. Then come to next, Niryat Bandhu scheme. Important scheme it is, Niryat Bandhu. See, the name itself says Niryat Bandhu. Niryat means Niryat, export, yes. So have you been in the English school only from the starting? I'm saying you, since your school days, you have been studying in English only. Okay, so that's why you're not so much aware of certain Hindi words. So haven't you heard this word before, Niryat? Ayat, Niryat. So what do you mean by Ayat, Niryat form? Huh? Come on, don't say this now. Then how do you say Ayat, Niryat? Yes. Ayat, Niryat. Ayat, Niryat form. So means import export form. Now it is also important, it's not only to have good command over say English language only. Yeah, Hindi also remains important to understand certain things in UPSC, our preparation, because many of the schemes are named in the Hindi words. Right? So if you have the understanding or meaning of a term clear, that helps you more to remember it. For example, this Abhiyanta word, okay. I still remember that despite you did engineering and you don't know the meaning of it, maybe you have come across it many times. Okay. Anyways, Niryat Bandhu. Niryat means export. Right? Bandhu, I believe you know. So tell Bandhu, meaning of Bandhu. Yes? Bandhu means your friend. Bandhu, Sakha, different words you use it. So Niryat Bandhu means any your friend that can help you in doing the exports or those activities. Now you read and you will understand more. So it's an officer, Niryat Bandhu. So the officer appointed as a Niryat Bandhu that would help kind of the hand-holding exercise. That will help any of these firms or the industries, the organization, the new importers, exporters, by providing the various knowledge, information regarding the compliance mechanism, proper guidance, because when any new comes into this business, they are not aware about the various ways to do the business or do the import and export. So Niryat Bandhu will basically help those people, those new firms, those industries, those people who are in this business of import and export. So it says such hand-holding by officers of DGFT would help the new exporters, importers. So both are given, right? But focus will be over whom? Export. Because you just find this exporters, importers here only. Rest at each and every place you will find Niryat Bandhu doing the work for or helping the exporters basically. Even the name signifies Niryat. So though it is meant for both exporters and importers, helping them, but more focus is given over the exporters. So you see, the objective scheme is essentially to reach out to the new and potential exporters and mentoring them through orientation programs, counseling sessions, individual facilitation for being able to get into international trade. So means helping those people, those new industries or potential exporters. They may not be exporting right now, right? But that he or she or that organization can be a potential exporter if they are helped properly. So this help is given by Niryat Bandhu. The next paragraph, as an intervention strategy, considering the strategic significance of small and medium scale enterprises in manufacturing sector and employment generation, MSME clusters have been identified based on the export potential and the density of industries in the cluster for focused intervention to boost export. So there is one of the scheme, that is MSME cluster scheme. So what actually is being done, because role of MSME is very immense, very huge. They contribute around more than 40% in the manufacturing production, whereas around even more than 40% around in the exports as well. So when these small and medium enterprises, they are contributing such an immense way. So they need more help, more support from the government. And so the strategy is focusing on these MSME clusters. So clusters, various MSMEs, those to be brought in a cluster. So various MSMEs in a same kind of territorial area where more focused approach can be utilized for the improvement of those industries, right? So in those MSME clusters, certain export potential will be identified regarding product and services, and then they will be proper intervention will be brought by DGFT in improving or say helping them in the export or in the trade business. Alright, now come to next topic, India's engagement in free trade agreements. So what India has stood for: open, equitable, predictable, non-discriminatory and rule-based international trading system. So see, these are certain words you can remember. These are used different places. So though you may skip these kind of things, but these are important for mains. You can use these, it makes your answer more definitely according to demand you'll write it. It's not like something you write it each and every place. So open, equitable. What do you mean by equitable? Open means no barriers, right? Even WTO says no barriers, open. Equitable?
Bringing everyone on the same platform.
Yes, explain more, elaborate more.
Everybody should be given access to same resources equally.
Now listen, equitable. We're talking about trade, means each and every country. The developed countries, developing countries, poor countries. Yeah, so you should bring the terms appropriately. Otherwise, a person may misunderstood you're talking in terms of people or countries or whatever, right? Then predictable and non-discriminatory and rule-based international trading system. So you don't want the, say, very frequent changes. You want the economic system or the trading system more predictable, because investors, they want more predictable system so that they can invest, right? Now, there are certain different kind of trade agreements are done. You can see the classification of these. Preferential trading agreement, PTA. What do you mean by PTA? You can see the meaning of it. Tariff liberalization on a limited number of lines. For example, India Mercosur, PTA. Mercosur, where it is? In South America. Means again it is organization of the various countries within South America. Then FTA, free trade agreement. By the name itself it says what? Free trade. So it means elimination of tariffs on items covering substantial bilateral trade between partner countries, for example India Sri Lanka FTA. Then CECA and CEPA, Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement, Partnership Agreement, then Broad-Based Trade and Investment Agreement. So these are used to describe agreements which consist of an integrated package of agreement on goods, services, investment, mutual recognition, intellectual property. So these are various. So once you do the FTA, so even CISA and CEPA, these are further way of this. CISA, then you further move to CEPA, right? So goods, services, investment, so many things you bring in. So India, Korea, CEPA. The next, Doha round of negotiations in WTO, World Trade Organization. So we see Doha round negotiations, they have been going since 2001, right? But despite more than a decade of the negotiations, still no agreement have come across on the various issues. The main reason for this, because different countries, different interests, and even these interests are, you can say, conflicting with each other. Developed countries, their own interest; developing poor, their different interests, and they are not merging at certain place. And WTO here, the decisions are taken on consensus base. So it is very difficult to bring consensus when you have varied stakeholders, varied parties with conflicting interests. That's why still at WTO we haven't found so many or say any major agreement. So that's why it led to what? So that's why I see certain people, they say failure of WTO on bringing consensus on free trade and all. It has led to coming of various mega regional trading blocs, mega regional trade agreements. For example, TPP. What TPP is? Correct. Trans-Pacific Partnership. Then TTIP, RCEP, APEC, APEC. So these are various trade organizations. Okay, and now TPP is very huge one, covering around more than 50% of the global export and GDP. And TTIP again, so it is feared that these certain mega regional trade agreements, it may act adversely for the countries which are not part of this, or which may isolate those countries, or which may concentrate the trade within those countries. So let's see what happens anyways. The 9th Ministerial Conference took place in Bali in 2013. Now various decisions on the issues on trade facilitation and agriculture trade rules related to LDC, least developed countries. Now one of the issue had been on public stock holding for food security purpose, ministerial decision. So which is the highest decision making body in WTO? The question can come, which is the highest decision making body in WTO? General Council, Ministerial Conference, or whatever? Yes. So Ministerial Conference, Ministerial Decision, this is the highest decision making body in WTO. So one of the issue had been on public stock holding for food security purpose. So India's concern come across this, and developed countries just say it should be scrapped off. Means the any production given here under this clause should not be there, because it is not for their interest. The interest of developing countries like India lies here. In what sense? See, public stock holding. So we are doing the public stock holding for food security purpose by FCI. So FCI goes for procurement, public stock holding of the food grains, and then these food grains are supplied to the people as part of our National Food Security Act. Okay, now the issue lies here in the administrative procurement. Administered procurement. Means if the procurement is at the administered prices, then it is a matter of concern for the developed countries. And here we are doing at MSP. So certain limitation is there of 10%. If it is more than 10%, then it is a matter of concern for developed countries and say it should not be there. But it is a matter of concern for our countries, and we haven't been agreed over this. We say no, we won't. If you want our support on trade facilitation agreement, you have to support us here. So still no consensus has been brought over this, and at WTO, because it is a consensus based body, so what is the present situation over this? It says unless any final decision is taken over this, an interim mechanism will keep on continuing like this. So we can still keep on having this mechanism of public stock holding at administered prices for food security purpose. Clear? Sorry? Yeah, Nairobi it has been held recently last December. This Bali is in 13 December, yes. So there it was so see, these issues, they keep on having the same issues, right? Trade facilitation, it was brought up during that time. Public stock holding, this issue had been since long time, and until unless any solution comes out, they will keep on having the same issues in the coming conferences as well. Okay, so what were the major decisions or major issues that were covered in the Nairobi conference of WTO meeting in December 2015? So question is expected from Nairobi conference. Correct, good. SSM, special safeguard mechanism, what is it?
Developing countries can keep on having a safeguard till some particular period, as in 2022, I think they can go on doing this, and by the time the developed countries will have to help them.
You are just mixing two different things.
SSM basics for it, developing countries like India can have a SSM for now.
What do you mean by this?
It would mean that the subsidies and all that we have been providing to our farmers for the food security can go on in the similar manner as we go on.
It's a special safeguard mechanism. Break this term in different parts. Safeguard mechanism means safeguard. Safeguard to whom? One part is correct, to farmers. We are correct on this part. The people who are to be concerned under SSM is the farmers. But how their interest to be safeguarded? Their interest to be safeguarded against the cheap agriculture commodities coming from the other countries. Right? Because you see in many developed countries they are giving tremendous or huge farm subsidies, export subsidies on their agricultural commodities. So those become very highly competitive in terms of prices. And if these cheap agri commodities comes to India, they flood Indian market, then who will buy our Indian farmers' commodities? So our farmers' interest comes at stake. So our minister kept on saying or focusing this thing even in the conference meeting, and it was admitted that SSM means giving certain flexibility to the home country, say for example India, to increase duties, customs duties, in case of any surge in imports of agriculture commodities from various other countries. So in case the imports increases from the various other countries in agri commodities and very cheap export, then there should be certain protection, should be flexibility in hands of the government of India to increase the exports, sorry, to increase the duties on those, so that they also comes at relatively same fair prices of Indian whatever prices prevailing in Indian market. Correct? So SSM, special safeguard mechanism. So again refer to where economic survey. Go through there and read in detail. It's given there. Come to SEZ, special economic zone. So SEZ, these were formulated or brought for what purpose? To focus over exports, basically to provide various incentives or various benefits to the industries which invest in SEZ, build up their industries, invest, and then, but one restriction, any of the good or services coming from there should be for export purpose only. So specifically for making India or leading or making India to move towards export-led growth, right? Just how China did it, export-led growth. So making SEZ an engine of economic growth supported by quality infrastructure, because infra will come up, the companies will come and invest. By an attractive fiscal package both at center and state level with user-friendly regulatory framework. So many of the guidelines or many of the rules, they have been relaxed for companies working in SEZ. So we have one of the Act, Special Economic Zones Act 2005. The basic objectives of SEZ, see these objectives: generation of additional economic activity, exports of goods and services, promotion of investment from domestic and foreign sources, employment, infrastructure, right? So all these are relevant, you can understand. Any company will come and invest, infra will be built when any investment comes in. When any investment comes in, infrastructure production will start or any of the economic activity. So additional economic activity will happen and will provide the employment. And finally, exports. So we have more than 300 SEZs in India, whereas China has very couple of around 4 or 5, around 5 SEZs in China, but there are huge SEZs in China. Now come to preferential trade agreements with South African Customs Union. So I will just go through it quickly through these. Even you can skip these if you are not so much concerned about these topics. So South African Customs Union, which countries? 5 countries: Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, Swaziland, South Africa. See, South Africa and certain countries nearby it, and within the South Africa you see certain Lesotho and Swaziland. Where these countries are? Lesotho and Swaziland, these are within South Africa, surrounded by South Africa only, very small countries. They are surrounded by South Africa. You just put a dot in South Africa somewhere, just like that. You see here, it's Lesotho, it's South Africa, green part, Lesotho, Swaziland. India COMESA Joint Study Group, you can leave it. Plantation crops, tea, coffee, spices, rubber, these are plantation crops. Now, what this sector offers, the historical, cultural, ecological uniqueness to the regions where the products are grown. Plantation. Right? You see that? Historical, cultural, ecological uniqueness to the regions where the products are grown. So because of this uniqueness, right, and it brings in the importance of GI, geographical indicators. So while trade and export of commodities had been growing steadily, Now, value realization per unit can be increased through processing and packaging and niche marketing. So the focus needs to be there: processing, packaging, and niche marketing. Now, our Union Cabinet has also approved India joining this International Tea Producer Forum as a founder member. Come to next, gems and jewelry sector. So India is an international diamond manufacturing hub with 14 out of 15 diamonds cut and polished in the country. See the significance. So out of 15 diamonds, 14 are cut and polished within India. Top 5 export destinations, say UAE, Hong Kong, US, Belgium, Israel. So now you understand how UAE is one of the major export destinations of India in terms of both petroleum products and gems and jewelry, right? Pharma sector, highly knowledge based industry. Now, question can become important regarding pharma in terms of, say, issues regarding compulsory licensing, issues regarding evergreening or patenting, but this pharma sector is more important for mains point of view. So our pharma sector is responsible for bringing the various healthcare facilities, the medicines, the drugs as well. Now, our generic drug industry is quite important, and we also supply low cost affordable quality drugs to the African and Latin American countries as well. So the generic drugs, it actually enhances the accessibility of low cost drugs. And if you remember, there is another scheme as well for this purpose, to enhance the yes, correct, enhance the availability of, yes, correct, good. So Jan Aushadhi scheme. So various Jan Aushadhi outlets, they are open or now also being opened right now in the various government hospitals, and doctors, they are advised or they are asked to prescribe generic medicines, unbranded medicines, so that these are very low cost, affordable, and quality as well. Now, brand pharma campaign. The slogan is what? India Pharmacy of the World, Responsible Healthcare. So this is the slogan for this. Now, for ensuring track and trace of Indian drugs, barcoding of all exports except primary level packaging was made compulsory from 1st July 15. So barcoding, this is another important technological intervention for ensuring that the quality drugs, they are being exported for the various countries. Because if any case, there had been complaints certain times that certain people, the countries, they didn't receive the quality drugs. So there may have been the consignment may have been tampered with or whatever. So barcoding will be there. So in any case, for example, any person say this drug I have got from India, in any African country or say, and then there could be allegation could come up. Okay, this drug was of lower quality and it was, say, imported from India. But when barcodes will be there, now India kept on refuting these arguments. They say there may have been certain tampering or whatever, right? So barcoding is for that purpose, so that to ensure the quality medicines they reaches to the people, and it will enhance our export competitiveness in the pharma products. It will also increase India's stature or increase the credibility of our pharma industries. That's all. Now come to next chapter. Communication and information technology. There are three departments: Department of Post, Telecommunication, and Department of Information Technology. Post, it was established by Lord Clive in 1766 and later developed by Warren Hastings. No need to remember the years, just remember earlier by Clive and then by Warren Hastings. So, in the post offices, they have been developed in our hand in hand with also with along line with railways, telegraph, right? So the post, they also act as a way for the national integration or shaping India's national identity. Also helped in supporting our freedom struggle. Why? Because by a post or whatever may be, communication was happening. So ideas, they were being transferred from, say, from Bengal to Mumbai, Maharashtra to Tamil Nadu to UP, Bihar, like this, right? Come to next, initiatives in service quality improvement, Project Arrow. So Project Arrow, just remember Project Arrow, an initiative to transform Department of Post into vibrant, responsive organization and focus on quality and efficiency of service, right? So Project Arrow, just remember it's an initiative for the Department of Post. What to do? Increasing or improving the quality and efficiency of services. So arrow means kind of the, you can say just how to remember it, maybe your own way, or arrow, say for example, in the earlier times, because you don't find the the messengers, either the message was being conveyed by the messengers or the messenger could have conveyed it by putting the letter on the arrow front. This wasn't happening in the real sense. I'm just trying to make understand to remember it. Just imagine it, remember in that way. Don't write it something in in certain questions. Okay. Look and feel. So look and feel. If say look and feel is part of what? So look and feel the same thing. See, if you improve the services quality, and you go somewhere in any post offices, so the feel should come from your inside. You find, you look at the system, you look at the post office, you feel like it's a good one, and then you receive the quality services there. So look and feel should come. So certain, again, part of Department of Post. So Project Arrow, look and feel. That's it. You keep on flipping pages. Keep on flipping pages, because I cannot tell the page number. The page number won't match. Topic we have National Policy on Electronics. Do you find it? So this National Policy on Electronics 2012, it envisions to create globally competitive electronic system design and manufacturing industry. Now, the Department for Electronics and IT is DEITY, DEITY, Department of Electronics and Information Technology. Now this ESDM, that is Electronic System Design and Manufacturing, if this our manufacturing, specifically the electronic design manufacturing industry, is made competitive, globally competitive, how it has a strategic importance. So it says, the paragraph C, ESDM is of strategic importance not only in internal security and defense, but also in the development of electronics in civilian domains, for example telecom, power, railway, civil aviation, etc. So in case it can be used in mains answer writing for a better analysis. How? Now these two lines showcase the strategic importance of electronics manufacturing, right? Other importance definitely are those which comes in first place in your mind. So when you think about importance of electronics and IT, The first thing comes in your information dissemination, more efficient communication, help to the people, help to the economy, industries. All these things will come. So, but these are another additional strategic importance. Internal security, definitely, for a more better communication, that is, you can say, secured communication between the forces in the military, various intelligence agencies, right, in defense. Now, security, various security establishments, various security agencies, the defense forces, they cannot operate efficiently and with effectiveness without having state of the art electronic equipment. Their effectiveness will increase. There will be more chances of a successful operation if we have very good advanced electronic manufacturing equipments, right? So in these terms, it has a strategic importance not only in internal security and defense, because whenever strategic importance comes to your mind, again you focus over, say, defense, you focus over security agencies, any internal security agencies, right? But even telecom, power, railway, civil aviation, these are also strategic importance. Clear? You just mark these and again move forward. Then we have National E-Governance Plan, NEGP. So National E-Governance Plan focus is where on making critical public services available and promoting rural entrepreneurship. National E-Governance Plan. Means ultimately, you see, government provides so many public services, because basically the for any of the amenities, basic amenities, these are provided by whom? By the government to the people. Because people, we elect the government by having the faith that our representatives, they will work for us, right, in return. And when they work for us, they provide the various public services. But there are so many roadblocks in those services, or as if we provide those services in terms of brick and mortar system, they may not be more efficient. But by bringing the technology in providing those services, right, then it will increase the efficiency and effectiveness of those services. On one way, efficiency is increased, its effect on the people is increased. Then it is also promoting or making the people more digital friendly, bridging the digital divide between rural and urban population. It is making the people more smart. So, pursuing the goal of a smart city. Even the smart city, use of technology is a very important ingredient, because the problems, those are to be tackled by technologies. So smart solutions have to be come up. So in different ways you can use this e-governance plan. So means bringing the technology in the government, in the various governance initiatives. Right? So when any of these things comes, it will make the service more people friendly, more citizen centric, and it will bring in transparency. Are you with me on this point? Because once you involve technology, you are removing the human discretion, and things will be open. For example, citizen charter. Things are in public domain in this way with the help of technology. For example, any citizen charter of any organization. So things are there, transparency comes into being, and whenever transparency comes, it has an attached component of accountability. People comes to know that who is to provide the services, who is responsible for it, in what time frame I should get this service, and in case I don't receive this service, whom to approach for redressing my grievances. So what it is? Accountability. Now come further, e-Bharat. e-Bharat, Government of India received a loan from World Bank. Now, if you see in this economic survey, there were so many reports, so many initiatives that were supported by World Bank, right? Do you remember? So, if I observed this thing in economic survey, we came across so many different initiatives, and those were supported by various international institutions, and maximum more than 90% of those were supported by World Bank. So even you can have an intelligent guess if it comes in. I don't say go bluntly for World Bank, but you can have this in mind. E-Bharat, World Bank. Okay. The purpose, see, making the Bharat online, right? So increasing the availability of online services for citizens in their locality to improve the quality of basic governance in areas of concern to the common man. So all those things we discussed. Correct? Meghraj. So it is a cloud technology to harness the benefit of cloud technology. See, from Meghraj. Okay? Megh means wow, good. Certain things you know. I'm just to make it in a lighter note, okay? Don't get so much serious over this. So to harness the benefits of cloud technology. Now you read further. So DET has initiated a project named Meghraj for creating a Government of India cloud. So it's a GI cloud, Government of India cloud. Computing environment at national level. So GI cloud computing environment at national level it will be. So it will become a repository, means bringing networking of resources or pooling of resources from the different organizations. So common repository of cloud-based infrastructure resources and application available on demand. So just remember Meghraj, what it is. To harness the benefits of cloud technology, GI cloud computing environment it is. GI cloud computing it is. Which department? DIT definitely. Then NOFN, National Optical Fiber Network. The objective of NOFN to provide 100 Mbps broadband connectivity to all panchayats. So to provide high-speed broadband connectivity to all the panchayats, around 2.5 lakh panchayats I think we have. Do you remember? Yeah, these are given there, right? I just missed this. 2.5 lakh panchayats. So to provide connectivity to all 2.5 lakh panchayats in our villages. So high-speed broadband connectivity. To provide B2B services in a non-discriminatory manner, facilitate proliferation G2C, B2C, P3P broadband services in rural areas, and to be a catalyst for increasing broadband penetration and usage. Because we find the internet penetration is very low in our rural areas, and taking the basis of this, certain companies like Facebook came with what was the name of its service? Facebook, along with the Reliance Free Basics, right? What are the logic given by Facebook for this? That they're providing internet free of cost to the people, and in India, go to the villages, rural areas, there is no internet. So the internet penetration is very low, that is fact. But the way they wanted to bring it, that was controversial. So that's why we need, if these companies they are not allowed to do so, so government should do it. So NOFA project is a way to accomplish that particular goal, National Optical Fiber Network, to connect all the village panchayats by high-speed broadband network. Benefit, first benefit, e-governance, definitely, because the panchayats will be connected to high-speed broadband. So means the technology is reaching to the panchayat level. So we're making our third year of democracy technology friendly. And now as services or any say schemes are implemented at the grassroots level, so implementation will also bring in technology centric and bridging the digital divide. Moreover, the cable and the fibers, once they reach the panchayats, it won't limit to the panchayat itself. Now the ants, they will be given to the various private operators. Okay. Now the various private operators, they could subscribe to those say cable ants, and they could provide various other online services, say DTH or whatever other services that could be used using those broadband cables. Right? So, but we have to make that profitable to the private companies, then only they will come up and will invest there. But once we have uninterrupted broadband services, then means the government will invest. So then companies could be encouraged as well, because without their investment, now internet has reached to the people directly, right? Dial government. Dial government is what? Dial GOV. So means anybody, they can get information by making a call on the various social sector schemes operation across the country. So this dial government means by of web-based portal and call center and interactive voice response system. So this is the way how the information will be given. You can access through internet or a call that will go to the call center, and IVRS, an interactive voice response system, maybe it is machine based voice or whatever, that will automatically start giving, or as per the option chosen, will give the information regarding various social sector schemes throughout our country. Correct? So these are where they can be used. One thing in prelims they can be asked, but more importantly, you can use these while writing in the answers. National Knowledge Network, importance of this, objective, to interconnect all knowledge institutions across country through high-speed data communication network to encourage sharing of resources and collaborative research. Means the various knowledge institutions, for example IISc Bangalore, various IITs, they are interconnected through this common platform. So more easy sharing of information, knowledge, data all across these institutions. And research is more about sharing of available material, available research that have been done, sharing of ideas across the people, across the institutions. So it is it will provide a platform for more integrated research. National Knowledge Network, so means a network of the various knowledge institutions across country. Cyber security, it is important for mains. Read it a couple of times before going for the mains exam. For prelims may not be important, but for mains it is important. So what do you understand by cyber security? Correct. To make our cyberspace more secure, right? It's a topic mentioned explicitly in your mains syllabus. So you can security, internal security, cyber security. Very important topic it is for your mains exam. Certain articles that had come in Hindu this year as well, we had gone across those. So compilation of those articles, a few, and this will suffice the work. So to secure our Indian cyberspace, how to do that? More research and development, legal framework, security incidents, early warning, means any security incident happens, early warning of that. Say any even hint of security incident breach could happen. So just like tsunami early warning system we have, before the impact could be there, we get the signal, yes, something is wrong. The same way here, if we come across this, so that we can initiate a response in quick time. Then best security policy compliance and assurance, international cooperation and security training. So R&D, where R&D to do? At promotion of basic research, technology demonstration, proof of concept, along with indigenous development of technology in the area of cyber security. Means keep on doing the research, keep on improving research in cyber security. And not only, we need not to isolate ourselves. we have to coordinate or cooperate with other various international countries as well. So, but focus will be on indigenous development of technology in area of cyber security, and it is an area that needs very more focused approach as well at the implementation in the research level. Now, many of times you don't find the countries, they may not fight a conventional warfare. They may get involved into cyber warfare. And with the cyber war, so there are different terms: cyber war, cyber threat, cyber terrorism, right? So if you breach the cyber security of a country of the strategic importance, for example, any nuclear installations, the power generation, power transmission, you can bring the country at standstill. If you breach the, say for example, metro security in terms of digital, I am saying, if metro stops working, you can imagine what will happen. It will bring chaos. Same way, breaching into the security by way of security in terms of the power transmission, the whole, say, Delhi comes into dark. And in security installation, for example, strategic importance, say power generation is one, nuclear reactors. So it brings the importance to secure those. So whatever the cyberspace we have, need to secure those, and huge information is available. Military installations, and there are so many huge classified information that requires the security. There are so many huge strategic important security installations as well that need security from the cyberspace. So we need to secure our cyberspace in India. How to do that? One aspect they have tackled right now, that is more research and development. Definitely we need more research. We need more of we have demographic dividend, okay? We have huge amount of human potential in India. Need to skill them. We should have specialized courses so that they come across this, they find it more profitable, more economically viable, and they come and contribute in this. Come to next paragraph. So this cyber security topic need to read in full for mains. Come to next paragraph. IT Amendment Act 2000. It gave the legal framework for transactions carried out electronically. It was enacted to facilitate e-governance and to take care of computer-related offences. So, in case of any computer-related offences, we have one of the act, that is IT Amendment Act. So now two things are clear right now. One thing is more R&D. Secondly, legal framework. So in case any offenses that happens by using any electronically or using the cyberspace, so we should have certain legal framework how to prosecute those offenders. Because we don't have any doctrine, you don't have any legal framework, they may come out or they may take advantage of the loopholes of existing framework. So now this was amended, this IT Act 2000 was amended through the IT Amendment Act 2008, and the amendment, they are to address the needs of national cyber security. Now the Act upgrades the existing legal framework to instill confidence in the users and investors in areas of information technology in the country. Right? Now this Act is to deal with new forms of cyber crimes like publicizing sexually explicit material in electronic form, video voyeurism, breach of confidentiality, and leakage of data by intermediary and e-commercial frauds. So means we have explicitly mentioned certain crimes, certain offenses, right? So one thing R&D, secondly legal framework. Which act we have? IT Act 2000, then IT Amendment Act again 2008. So latest one we have 2008. And why IT Act was in news last year?
Shreya Singhal case.
Correct, good, excellent. Yes, Shreya Singhal case. Yeah, last year. So, which section of IT Act was scrapped? Section 66A of IT Act. Section 66A of IT Act was held null and void by our Supreme Court. We had seen several cases, and for example in Mumbai, just after death of Balasaheb Thackeray, the whole Mumbai came to standstill, and certain girls, two girls, one girl I think posted a comment and another girl liked the comment or shared, I don't remember exactly, but that led to the controversy. They were charged, they were arrested, right? And it was used at certain other place in UP as well, I think against Azam Khan, or I don't remember correctly, but this is how it happened. This act means the government authorities, they were using this act to curb freedom of speech and expression of people. So the case was heard in Supreme Court. It was Shreya Singhal case. So remember these cases. Even you don't remember what exactly happened, but remember that Shreya Singhal case, it made the Supreme Court to held or to scrap off Section 66 of IT Act. The Supreme Court said it is bringing the chilling effect on freedom of speech and expression. Now come to Cyber Appellate Tribunal. Do you find it? Cyber Appellate Tribunal. The first and only cyber court in the country has been established by central government according to IT Act 2000. Now, the Cyber Appellate Tribunal, I given certain information in the addition note here. So, the power, again, the same power as vested in civil code under Code of Civil Procedure. However, now the Code of Civil Procedure will apply, procedure laid down under Code of Civil Procedure, but at the same time tribunal will be guided by principle of natural justice. So these are certain common things that come when we talk about the civil code, or say for example NGT. Even NGT, that is guided by the principle of natural justice. Right, so that is Cyber Appellate Tribunal. So here the appeals can be filed further. Then come to next, Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT-In. So National Nodal Agency it is. So established under IT Act 2000. What the focus area? Awareness on security issues through dissemination of information in its website. So various things information is given on this website. And 24/7 incident response help desk. So means anything happens, is a first response team, first response mechanism, right? Then it provides prevention and response services as well as security quality management services. So how it helps in what areas? Are you on this paragraph, right? Yeah. You can read this: collection, analysis and dissemination information, cyber incidents, forecast and alert of cybersecurity incidents, emergency measures for handling cybersecurity incidents, coordination of cyber incident response activities, issue guidelines, advisory, all these. So you can see in the plethora of areas, various diverse areas it works. So means in the one way it awares the people, other way it acts as a first response team, emergency response, anything happens then it is first which is to come as a first response team. It is a Indian, that is CERT-In, Computer Emergency Response Team India. Then also helps the government in formulating the policies, guidelines it brings in and all these. The infra is upgraded against distributed denial of service attacks. Denial of service attacks means certain time the attacks are done in a way that it makes the application, for example, the application is made to provide certain services, and that application is breached, now it doesn't provide any services. So denial of service attacks. Now there is disaster recovery site has been made optional at CDEC Bangalore. What's the benefit of this one? In case even certain is being attacked, if certain system is attacked, then what is alternative? So the backup is this disaster recovery site, right? So this disaster recovery site, it is optional at CDEC Bangalore, which will take up the essential IT services of certain, including email, web, and incident tracking in case of eventuality. So DR site has been set up to ensure 24/7 operational readiness of certain. Now come to security assurance framework. You can read by yourself. So certain things are given, even the name itself signifies assurance framework, security assurance framework, basically to be used in mains. Then crisis management plan, again to counter cyber attacks and cyber terrorism, and it is approved by National Crisis Management Committee. So CERTIN has been conducting workshop regarding this across the ministry. So means making the various ministries, the departments within the government, making them aware, training them, right, in case what happens, so what the first response should be. Are you getting this thing? So are you on the crisis management plan? So this plan is brought by National Crisis Management Committee. So CERTIN, it conducts workshop with the central ministry, departments, various other offices, so that to let them know the best practices, what to do to safeguard their sites, their cyberspace. International practices are being shared with them. Then cybersecurity drills are being conducted. So just like fire drills, what the purpose of fire drill is? To make them people more aware and to make them prepared in advance, so that in case fire happens, they can take certain precautionary steps or any steps, preparedness. The same way, cybersecurity drills, it will bring awareness. It will keep the people and the key organization always in ready. In case any attack happens, they have certain ways to tackle those. So it will enhance the preparedness in dealing with cyber crisis situation. So you see the various critical organizations, defense, space, atomic energy, telecommunication, finance, power, petroleum, natural gas, transportation. These sectors are very important, very critical. So any attack on these sectors in terms of cyber, in their cyberspace, could create havoc for our country. Security cooperation collaborations. So CERTIN is also collaborating with international security organizations, so that best practices can be exchanged, information can be exchanged, and the best practices could be adopted. Security awareness by training workshops, by cybersecurity drills, or the crisis management plan. All these are ways to go for security awareness. Then focusing over cyber forensics, so that we have certain software tools. So there is cyber forensic investigating facility at CERTIN that is equipped with software tools and equipment to analyze the computer system and cell phones involved in cybersecurity incidents and cyber crimes. So means this forensic facility can look onto those equipments that have been used in cyber crimes and to further diagnose or bring certain important leads for investigating agencies. CDEC, Center for Advanced Development, Advanced Computing, you can just leave it. Software Technology Parks of India. Can you see this? Software Technology Parks of India. So, it's an autonomous society under Department of Electronics. Main objective, promotion of software exports from the country. So, Software Technology Park. The basic objective, exports, promote the export of softwares. That's it. Come to Department of Telecom. Department of Telecom, DOT. DOT, what it does, it allocates the frequency and manages radio communication in close coordination with international bodies. So see the frequency, the bandwidths, okay, these are given by the Department of Telecom, DOT. You see when any bandwidth auction happens, frequency auction happens, so it's a role of DOT that comes into play. Then there is USO, Universal Service Obligation. It will be discussed as a separate topic, but basically I'll just tell you in brief that it's a kind of fund to support, enhance the broadband connectivity, the telephone connectivity, various services within the rural India. So basically regarding broadband and telephone and so to strengthen communication network there. Come further. Now come to Universal Service Obligation Fund. Separate topic it is. USOF, Universal Service Obligation Fund. So initially it was brought to support rural telephony. Now it is established by an act of parliament. Okay, many times you find the question, this fund, this body is statutory in nature or by an act of parliament. So just remember, this fund is by an act of parliament. In what areas it will work? Now there are various wide areas it includes, specifically to the communication, telegraph services, mobile services, broadband connectivity, creation infrastructure like optical fibers in rural and remote areas. Alright, so even the question, if the question comes that NOFA project is funded by USOF, statement correct or incorrect? USOF, Universal Service Obligation Fund. Yes. See, it says what? Broadband connectivity and creation infrastructure like optical fiber in rural and remote areas. The objective of USOF. Right? And if it comes, one of the option is say the purpose of USOF. One option is this one, another rural telephony. Third statement, funding Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Then, sorry, first two correct. Yeah. So last one, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has no role to, no link with Universal Service Obligation. Okay, now come to next one, National Optical Fiber Network. Again, we have done it to connect all 2.5 lakh gram panchayats in the country with high-speed broadband network. So basically, which organization is there for its implementation? BBNL, Bharat Broadband Network Limited. Cable laying work is being done by BSNL. So non-discriminatory access to network will be provided to all telecom service providers like mobile, internet, cable TV in rural areas. Alright, so do you see the importance of this line? It means to say that once these cables will reach to those panchayats, then these ends will be provided, the cable ends where there is the broadband, high-speed broadband, to the various operators. For example, Airtel, Vodafone, and they could use it for providing further any other services like internet, cable TV, internet, mobile, like different services through that. Now this can be important scheme for mobile communication services in left-wing extremism in affected areas. This name is important, that's it. Okay, here it can be used in the GS paper 3 internal security. So how to tackle internal security? There are so many ways to do it. One thing is also enhancing our communication infrastructure. There is better communication among forces, better communication between forces and people. The way how to combat the Naxalism or this left-wing extremism. Because the thing is, there need to be bring more and more confidence of people in forces, right? Because if people they support the forces, then Naxalism will be done away with, right? And how can it be done? You bring these people closer to forces, closer to the government. One way is more better communication. Definitely other ways are more, can be more effective. For example, how the forces, the government that treats the people, how they serve the people. Okay. There is one of the program for left-wing extremism. I just check this thing if I have in my OneNote. I think I had added this in my OneNote application. So this is OneNote application. We have internal security here, left-wing extremism. Yes, civic action program it is. Yes, civic action program. So basically this program is for left-wing affected areas. What is done? The various security forces, for example CRPF is mainly dominating in those areas as security force. So they, you can say, contribute directly, say providing medical services to the people, distributing of the blankets, or help in the skilling of the local people. So it is a confidence building measure. You work for the people, people's confidence will increase in the forces, right? So it's a civic action program. Even if you don't remember much details about it, remember the name, just remember the forces, the paramilitary forces. Basically not to call them paramilitary for difference between paramilitary and CAPF. These are CAPF, Central Armed Police Force, but many times the newspapers also they exchangeably use these words. Okay, just I'll tell it first. So this CAPF, these forces, Central Armed Police Force, they work for the people by working for them, providing the medical facilities, first aid, this and that, in different ways, skilling as well, right? So in terms of distributing quality seeds, fertilizers, fruit bearing plants, career counseling, promoting handicraft, cottage industries, sports facilities in those areas, conduct, for example, sports tournaments to involve youth in those tournaments and encouraging them. So civic action program. What's the difference between CAPF and paramilitary? Okay, these are CAPF, Central Armed Police Force. What all come under this Central Armed Police Force? What all forces come under CAPF?
SSB.
Correct. Sashastra Seema Bal, right? CRPF. Now what are their?
CRPF is only CAPF.
Yes. if you remember, UPSC conduct the exam of assistant commandant for CAPF. Okay. Then the forces are CISF, CRPF, SSB, ITBP. So all these are various forces. Then you should have a brief idea about their work, the nature of work, because it is also part of your syllabus in GS paper 3. What is there? The various security forces, their mandates. What CRPF does? For maintaining the CRPF basic purpose, any disturbance within our country. For example, regional disturbance to counter Naxalism. So basically, for these specific purpose, these forces are right. So CRPF is going to counter Naxal affected areas. If any, for example, any kind of riots happen, okay, this Jat Andolan in Haryana, again CRPF could be brought in to bring peace there, stability in the region. Okay, SSB, Sashastra Seema Bal, BSF, it guards our borders along Pakistan, Gujarat, Rajasthan. Our borders in Jammu and Kashmir with Pakistan, that is guarded by whom? By Army and BSF both. But there is a proportion of Army and BSF, major proportions of Army. And somehow, somewhere backed by BSF in certain numbers, but these are less in numbers. Army is in fact dominating the security there. Why Army? We will find basically you could ask the question, why BSF is doing the border security in Pakistan, why not in Army? Say for example, why BSF is doing the border security in Rajasthan and Gujarat on India-Pak border, why not Army? Because there is understanding among the different countries at international level, the military, the army will not guard the borders. Okay, so even from the Pakistan side, it is Pakistani Rangers. This is not Army of Pakistan. So from our side, it is BSF on Gujarat and Rajasthan. Now, why Army in Jammu and Kashmir? Because it is a disputed area. We claim POK, they claim Kashmir. So that's why our army is there. Same way along LSC also army is there. But mainly along India-China border it is ITBP. But in Jammu and Kashmir it is army. Then SSB, where SSB guards Nepal and Bhutan both. Okay. BSF along Gujarat, Rajasthan and Bangladesh. So in Bangladesh borders guarded by BSF. Then India, Myanmar, it is Assam Rifles right now. But there is a proposal to replace it by BSF or ITBP. More focus is for ITBP because they are trained in mountaineering and these kind of the events. Okay. Assam Rifles is not part of CAPF. Okay. CAPF comes under Ministry of Home Affairs, Home Ministry, whereas Assam Rifles comes under Defense Ministry. So that's why they talk of bringing this Assam Rifles backward somewhere and sending our CAPF troops either of ITBP or BSF on the forward. Okay, that's all, right? So will you remember a few things? Where BSF guards our borders?
BSF is the Rajasthan Gujarat border, as well as Bangladesh.
Correct. SSB?
Nepal and Bhutan.
Correct. ITBP?
ITBP will be
India, China. India, China. Now we are also planning for raising mountain strike corps. And India is doing that. Not only planning, we are also in the implementation stage. Mountain strike corps. Because as with China, we are, the terrain, the kind of borders is mountainous region. And we need specialized troops for guarding our borders or to if any situation demands to maintain or bring any operations as well in those areas. So Mountain Strike Corps, so specifically from the army they will come up and they will be trained in specialized topography, the region of our Himalayas. Okay, that's all. I think we diverted our discussion now. Anyways, come forward. Network and technological cell, transition from IPv4 to IPv6. Now IPv4, what do you mean by IPv4? IPv6, what do you understand by this thing? You are a technocrat. You did engineering in which stream? Electronics. Sorry? Electrical, okay. Anyways, IPv4.
And it is said that the domain names are going to exhaust names too.
Yes.
So we need to shift towards the IPv6.
Correct. So the IP addresses are used on the internet. It is kind of the network where different devices are connected by a unique IP address. Right? It cannot be used. The same IP address cannot be used by any other device in the same meantime. But they have the limitation. IPv4 format has certain limitation in terms of the generation of IP addresses. Then IPv6, more broad basis it is, more devices could be connected, and there are more and more penetration of internet. So it could be demanded to move towards IPv6. So we are demanding even everybody now various devices configuration they'll also be moved towards IPv6. So the devices start supporting the IPv6 platform. So as more number of users, they need the more IP addresses, so need to move towards IPv6. Come to next, policy for machine-to-machine communication. So machine-to-machine communication. So improving the role of technology in furthering public welfare and enhanced customer choice through affordable access and efficient service delivery. Right? For example, remote operated irrigation pumps. So remotely operated irrigation pumps, right? So machine to machine communication. There may be certain transmitter in the hand of farmer, and he could just operate the irrigation pump. It's not something you just own the, you start the irrigation pump that keep on flooding the farm. You come across it is something wastage of water as well, right? So remotely the pump could be operated. Smart grids. So basically the purpose is to enhance the public welfare and affordable access by efficient service delivery. Come to Telecom Dispute Settlement and Appellate Tribunal, TD, just read by yourself. Now come to Vision Areas of Digital India. It has been a very big chapter. I think somewhere in the last, Vision area of Digital India, Vision of Digital India, under which ministry? DIT, Department of Electronics and Information Technology. Vision. What are the visions? Read these 3 points. Infrastructure as utility to every citizen, governance and service on demand, digital empowerment of citizens. So these are 3 visions: infrastructure, governance and service on demand, digital empowerment. You can remember, see the first name, D, I and G. DIG. Okay? As a code you can make it by yourself, DIG. Even I have put this in the note. You can open the note, you can find it, DIG, digital empowerment. I for infra. Infra, definitely the digital infra. Then G, governance. Governance and service on demand.
Accessibility also has these 3 components.
Sorry?
Accessibility and that also had
Tell what are those components? That had 3 components. One is built environment. Built environment is all the buildings should be accessible. You're talking about accessible India campaign, right? Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan. Three components: built environment. First one means all the buildings should be accessible without any barriers. Secondly, transportation. The transportation should be accessible. Third, it was ICT tools. The information, the digital information, any kind of information, basically the ICT, should be accessible. So these are three vision areas: DIG, digital empowerment of citizens; infrastructure as utility; third, governance and service on demand. Right? Now come to 9 pillars of growth areas. Remember these 9 pillars? You can use, if you remember these 9 pillars, you can use these in mains and can be asked in prelims. Okay, which of the following are the pillars of digital India? And even the option which may be incorrect, which will be incorrect, will seems to be may have somewhat relevant to digital India. Very close option it will be. Now see, read these options: broadband highways, universal access to mobile connectivity, public internet access program, e-governance, e-Kranti, information for all, electronics manufacturing, IT for jobs, early harvest program. So these are 9 pillars for digital India. Now if you remember these 9 pillars, how you can use in mains? For example, question comes on digital India and it is a prominent question. Question can come up, important topic it is. If it is analytical based, then you use analysis. If it comes how digital India to work, or say pillars, direct question come, you directly write the pillars. But even if it doesn't ask the pillars, or somehow it asks how to use it for the people's, question will be applied one. I don't expect a direct question. If a direct one comes, it will be easy question, write these 9 pillars. But even what I say, remember these 9 pillars, how to use it even in the analysis. See, read the broadband highways. So it means the connectivity is not something to physical connectivity only. Right? It has to be digital connectivity by your broadband, internet penetration, broadband highways. Right? Universal access to mobile connectivity, mobile penetration. You see how mobile revolution has come in India. And if you enhance more and more mobile connectivity to the people, this could further be utilized in providing the, say, financial inclusion, or bridging the digital gap, in providing the affordable quality education to all the people, MOCC, digital library. So, in so many different places you can utilize this information. Public internet access program, e-governance. So here, utilization of this digital technology in the governance. How in governance? Government provides so many services, public services. So if you bring the usage of technology, digital technology in government services, so those efficiency will increase, effectiveness will increase, and transparency will increase. e-Kranti, electronic delivery of services, information for all, information will be available in public domain for everybody. Electronic manufacturing, it is again important. It will make India to improve its, or move on the higher in the ladder of the more better technology. Moreover, strategic importance you discussed in previous topic. Strategic importance and so many importance of electronic manufacturing, including the strategic one. IT for jobs, early harvest program. So these are 9. How to remember these? There's a quote that is Hi Jumki, H-I-G-H, Hi Jumki, J-U-M-K-I. Jumki is like Jumka. Jumka, you know, right? What is Jumka? Yeah, correct. So you can say a feministic version of that, Jumki. So H stands for, you can write one by one, or you can see later in my notes as well. H stands for highway. Highway. Highway means broadband highway. Then I, internet, that is public internet. Public internet access. Okay. G, governance, that is e-governance. H, harvest, that is early harvest program. Then J, jobs, that is IT for jobs. Keep on writing. I'm writing this. Okay. Then U, universal access to phones, means universal access to mobile connectivity. 7, M, manufacturing, electronic manufacturing. Then K, Kranti, that is e-Kranti. I, that is information for all. Information for all. Okay. So what the code is? Hi, Jumki. H, highway, broadband highway. I, internet, that is public internet access program. G, governance, e-governance. Again H, harvest, early harvest program. J, jobs, IT for jobs. U, universal access to mobile connectivity. Then manufacturing. Then K, Kranti, information for all. So just remember the code word. At the first go, try to link each word, each alphabet with the code, and you can say the actual word. Link it, remember it, and you can use it certain place in mains or in prelims. Thank you. That's all for today's class. If you like our tutorials, you hit like, comment, and subscribe to our channel as well. It will encourage us to bring more such amazing videos for you people. Alright, see you people. Take care. Bye bye.